everybody. Oh, happy hump day, middle of the week. It is another gloomy day here in LA, so it's the kind of day that you really want to sleep in. So welcome. We're in the middle of the week, so I hope you're getting through the day and hanging in there, right? It is June. I don't know if you're doing things for the summer yet, but it's time to start planning and get going. Good morning, Brooklyn. Hey, Brownie. Good morning. So today's topic is actually brought by one of you guys. You sent me a message and said, hey, I think we should talk about this. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. I really believe in it. Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Kristen. We got Bronny out of bed. That's our main goal of the day, every day. Good morning, Jeffrey. So this person brought to my attention that they had gotten a reading, and in that reading, they were giving the person the idea, I think it was a book, and how would that book do? So, and good morning, Julie. Good morning, Brooklyn. So, they'd asked this psychic, how would the book do, or how would this project do? And that light worker responded something along the lines of, it's going to be terrible, not going to do well, blah, blah, blah. And the person really left this session feeling unbelievably defeated. So, good morning, Tiffany. Hi, Rachel. And so this is important. Now, for anyone who gives readings, you always have to ask the client if they want to know everything. I mean, I think that's the first step. Because you don't know what the person doesn't want to know. Or if they don't, like, I've had people say, I don't want bad news. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you mean by bad news? Well, like, when I'm going to die. I'm like, well, I got a lot of things to do. I'm not going to tell you when you're going to die. God help us. Tracy, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. But bad news means different things to different people. Now, so as a light worker, I mean, do we have, good morning, Nina. If someone's going to ask you that direct question, how is this going to do? And they want to know everything. I mean, there may be a responsibility there to share any insight, but how you say it or what you say, it is not our job to go around defeating other people's dreams. Now, you don't want to give them just what they want to hear. You have to give them what you're getting. But I think in this message, or my perception of it, it didn't feel, it felt like it was coming from an ego place of the reader, not necessarily higher self, not necessarily spirit. So I think that's what kind of concerns me about it is, again, you can't go around telling everyone, oh my God, I got to be a bestseller. Like, you can't inflate something that's not there, but there has to be a level of integrity about what we're doing. And if you get a reading, make sure watch who you're asking. Really know if you respect that person's gift. Do you respect that insight? Do you know that they're working from a pure channel? Do you know that they're putting ego aside when working? Because we all have ego. Listen, there's no such thing as no ego. That's ridiculous. Okay? I don't care who tells you what. We all have ego. You have big ego, little ego, middle ego. We're all trying to find the balance of our ego and our spirit and our higher self, right? Because we're having human experiences. We're having a physical life. So, of course, your ego, you can't get through this life without ego. That's silly, right? But when you're doing a reading, if you're going to do readings, you got to take that ego and put that aside for that session. Okay? That ego has got to be put aside. That is not the place to allow it to come through when you're tapping in for someone else and someone else's higher self, okay? So in this particular situation, it felt like that's what was happening. I don't know, I wasn't there, but just in what I heard, that's what it feels like. But in any way, there's light workers, we are taught, many of us are taught, give what you get, give what you get. Yes, but there also has to be some tact around that. There also has to be some kindness and compassion when delivering that. You know, I do feel that we get it a certain way, and it is our responsibility to make sure we're delivering it with integrity, with responsibility. So, oh, Michael has that. Well, you have this? You have spirit. Spirit. So, but that's why, did you ever feel like you give and never receive? Not really sure what you mean, Tina. So can you let me know what you mean there, honey? But you know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be a level of integrity. I hear of a lot of psychics or mediums giving things that just don't feel pure. And, I can't go around, that's not my place, right? But I do want to just say that we have to work. If you're going to do this work and you're going to do it professionally, you've got to do it with integrity. You've got to do it with purity. And if you're not ready, or you're not feeling like, hey, that's how it is, or that you're able to completely separate ego and self from higher self for this purpose of the client, then maybe do some more training till you know that you're in that place before you're doing it professionally. Because what we give someone could impact the rest of their life. We could say something to someone that makes them so afraid to ever fall in love again, or makes them feel that someone that they're with, just because they're having a bump in the road, that they're supposed to go get divorced. Like, no, we all have bumps in the road. So it's easy to fall into that. I give my heart and soul to people when I feel like I get walked on, expecting to help, working with the white light, come from, so, again, the person asked about this thing, and I don't know if they were expecting an answer, but again, I think what was given to them just felt like, no, it's never going to work, and forget it. And like, we can't go around destroying dreams, okay? We really can't. So, and I guess this is for us, for any of us who are going to do this work, or do this work, or studying to do this work, it is, be ready. Be really ready to know that you can serve for the highest good, of that recipient of spirit and all of that, before you go out charging people, before you go out, because I do feel that there's such a level of responsibility. I could never, we just can't go around taking away people's dreams. And on the other hand, we can't go around inflating something that's not there either. There has to be that pure channel. And we all have the ability to work with that pure channel. It's just being able to tap in and sitting in that power and really working with that authenticity. So, but I do know, I just want that person. Listen, no matter whoever gives you a reading, okay, if your soul tells you something else, always listen to your soul. Always listen to your soul, okay? So, you know what I mean? It's always important that you listen to yourself. If you feel that this project or anything that you're working on or any relationship that you want to be in, if your soul, your own higher self, and it's telling you to move forward, then I want you to listen to that. Don't listen to anything anyone tells you, period. You always have to listen to yourself if you're getting something pure like that, okay? But if we're going to do this work, or we're going to find someone who does this work, let's try to do it when we're looking for someone who is working for the highest good. Because if we're not careful, we really can have a major impact on someone else's life. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. Yes, Kristen, exactly. Follow your own instincts. But like last night, for you guys who saw my little live video, it was a launch party, and it was really cool. And it was a lot of actors and industry people, writers, makeup artists. And, you know, like one of the ladies said she was so grateful, and she's like, oh my goodness, thank you. And she's like, you know, it's all been so cloudy in my head, and you just said it. And that's true. Like sometimes it's so cloudy in our own lives, and you know, it gets all cloudy in your head and you can't think straight. And you're like, what do I do? What do I do? And yet someone comes along and goes, oh, here it is. For them, it's so clear because they're not in it. Their ego's not in it. Their consciousness isn't in it. So they're like, it's very clear and easy. And when you're working pure and you're working in that pure channel, that's how it is. It's like, super easy. And so that is why, you know, it's great to get readings and get insight. And because if you find that person who's working really pure in a very pure way, they're going to have such a sense of clarity that something you've been questioning or looking at or wondering about is just so clear for them. So, you know, that's kind of it, you know. I know Suzanne brought this up, and so I really appreciate her bringing up this topic and her saying, hey, you know, and I do feel like this was someone she trusted, so I think it was a big stab in the heart. But always, though, that reader really should have reminded the recipient of free will. So also, make sure you always know whether you're giving a reading or getting a reading, you have free will. All right? That means I don't care what you tell me, I can somehow change these circumstances. I can change that outcome. So we all have to know that we have free will. So regardless, again, if someone tells you something and it feels like a major setback or major something that's not going to work, Meredith, thank you for sharing. Major setback or something that, you know, relook at how you're doing it. Relook at, okay, on this particular method or this particular path, it's not going to work. How can I change that? How can I turn that around to make it what I need it to be? So sometimes it's just using that free will that turns that frown upside down to a smile, to a happy ending. So there's many things we can do, but regardless, you know, we all have to look at ourselves, take a check in the mirror if we're working purely, if we're working with higher self, if we're working with spirit in a very pure way, and if we're working with kindness and integrity and authenticity, because as much as you give what you get, there has to be a way in which it's presented. I do feel that. Because the way spirit gives me, or it could be very direct, and sometimes we have to understand that it needs to be softened a bit. That's where the soul-to-soul connection comes in. Okay, so really quick, one last thing is, good morning, Tracy. Especially in a psychic reading, right? There should be a soul-to-soul connection. Now, in that moment, when you connect to that soul of that recipient, when I do, in that moment, I actually gauge how does that soul need to hear the information? Like, what can that soul handle in that space, you know? And so how you deliver the information and how you give it, you're not changing it, but just the delivery of it is also in measurement to that soul, so that they can hear it and feel it and see it and know it in a way that makes sense to them, in a way that they can connect to, in a way that resonates for them. So that's just another factor. So again, you know, when we're choosing light workers to give us some clarity, or when we are doing the work directly to, good morning, Maureen, when we're doing the work directly to help someone with that clarity, let's try to remember that what we say can have a major, major, major impact on someone. And we just, let's not go around destroying dreams or say things that can't be really validated. I think that that's tough too. Build that trust with someone. Build that trust either with your light worker or you as a light worker with the recipient. Really quick, one time. So before I was doing this work professionally, it's actually really funny. Thank you, Julie. before I was doing this work like professionally, it was real. This is how I knew, though, I was supposed to start doing it. My best friend and I would always go for readings, always go and get places and go for readings. And so we went to this one lady, and it was really great. I ended up giving her a reading, which now any light worker should not have let me do that, right? Like, they should hold this space but that's another story. But she ended up telling my friend that she saw past life and that we were together romantically and all this weird stuff. And like, why would you say that to someone? Like, it's the most ridiculous. The pet peeve of mine. I really, really hate when light workers go and do stuff like that, unless the person's asking. But, inappropriate to me. So this is what we have to do. We have to find ways to work and choose those who are working with love and compassion and pureness and integrity, all of that stuff. And there's so many out there. Listen, you guys, there are so many beautiful, beautiful, amazing light workers out there. Honestly, I know so many of them. There's a huge push towards professional training, which is huge. It's very, very important because if you go with a great teacher, you're going to learn all this stuff. You're going to learn those fundamentals. You're going to learn how to deliver and get information and work for the highest good. It's just, it's important. It's important that we are putting out the best positive light that we can, okay? It's the best positive light. So it can really be during learn. Yes, exactly. Especially when it can't be validated, right? So really quick, in closing, when we're working, either you're working or you're getting a reading from someone else, they should be validating. They should be able to give you information that you can validate. Now, in a psychic reading or intuitive reading, sometimes that's validating the past because the person knows that happened, right? Or validating the present. I know you're going through this. The person can validate that. Then you can kind of go into the future a little bit. This isn't fortune telling, right? It's just a little bit of the future, and it's knowing that the person has free will to change it. So, but it is building that trust first before you go spilling out stuff that can't be proven or validated. We have to build that trust so that we know we're in that power. We know we're in that energy. So, anyhow, that was a topic that was suggested. So you guys can always suggest topics. I love getting the suggestions. I'm more than open to talking about things that you guys want to talk to because that's what we're here for. We're here to do this together, right? We're here to make it through together. So hoping you enjoyed it. Hoping you liked it. It is a hump day. So you're halfway through the week, and I hope you can use this to inspire you through the rest of the day. Thank you, Julie and Bronny. Tomorrow night, listen, I'm so excited. Tomorrow night, Mira Kelly is on, and she's going to be on the show tomorrow night, live with Colby Psychic Rebel. I am beyond excited. Now, she actually is a past life regressionist. And what I love about her is she says, I don't give readings. I don't sit there and give you a reading about your past life, okay? I let you go in and do it. And that's exactly how it should be, honestly. Unless I think we can guide someone and we can help them and we can show them, but ultimately it's about them unlocking it, And she's going to tell us how to do that. We got so much stuff. She's got a bunch of workshops. She just relocated to Los Angeles for anyone here. So that's going to be really, really, really fun. And I just want to say, love you guys. Love you guys so much. And we did it. We got through. I'm working on getting the coffee cups up. I know. I'm sorry. So, anyhow, there you go. I love you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Get through the hump day. Let's hope some sunshine comes out everywhere we are. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.